I think it's time for a little story time. All right, so I want to tell you guys about the time that my first night doing graveyard shift. And let me fill you in. If you don't know, I used to work at a gas station. Like, this was my last job. It was also the longest job I was able to keep for about 6 years. Um, about the first year I was working there, um, I went from pretty much just about being fired to becoming the star employee of like the new manager that had taken over like literally a few days before I got hired. So let's see. Um, I was working second shift, like swing shift, for a majority of my time there. Like I basically I was running the store in the late afternoon to evening, and then I would either have two different workers come in for graveyard. There was Robert and there was Cody. Now, Robert was kind of like a chill. He seemed chill at first, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then Cody was like he was bar back in his spare time, and he was also like one of those good old boys, like very cool guy, very cool. Um, so I get a call from my boss Kim one night, and she's like, Christian, I need you to come in. You need to work with Cody. I need you to fill in for Graveyard from now on. I asked what was up. Turns out Robert had like assaulted someone and he was let go. So it's like, oh man, that sucks. I kind of was hesitant of doing Graveyard because like from the way that Cody and Robert were saying it, it's like things were like it was just a rough life. And I mean I knew that going in, but whatever. So I get there and I'm working with Cody for a couple hours because he's showing me what to do, like the end of day and like how the procedure goes, like having a schedule like set up, what to do when something happens, blah blah blah. Like, and I mean, yeah, the first night it went okay, and I don't consider those the first night. I had two scheduled days to work with Cody, and then my first full night by myself. So the first day, get all of this stuff done with Cody, and I go home at 3 a.m. The next day, I was, I was like, I was hyped. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. But I was having a bout of insomnia about that time, so and like having my schedule just shift up like that was kind of not good for it. Well, I get a call about 7:30, and it's my boss telling me, "Hey, you're gonna have to be working by yourself tonight. So if you mess anything up, just don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Just do the best you can, and yeah, just good luck." And I found out later that Cody hurt his back, like so he was gonna be out. And it's like, okay, this is fine. It's gonna be cool. First night doing it by myself, like only my second night technically doing it, but okay, yeah, this ought to be good. It was a Friday night, so you already know shit was about to go off the rails. Uh, yeah, I get there and the store's kind of a mess because like the sudden shift, like there was no regular like second shift worker because I was now graveyard. So the person that was there now didn't know what to really do and was like store was a mess and I was just by myself. It's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be fun. Oh boy. So where to start? Uh I had some angry ass fucking customers because like I guess our EBT uh reader was not working and I couldn't figure out how to get it to work because I was just used to it being on. I didn't know how to restart it yet because it was not shown to me. Um, and the lady that was trying to buy whatever with her EBT took it out on me. So, fine, whatever. Um, it was pretty steady for the majority of the night. And then things started to take a turn. Um, where this gas station was located, there were about three different types of bars in close proximity because this particular gas station was at like a cross points between like a ghetto, the rich side of town, and in the more what can I say, the paisas, the more Mexican side of town. Like there was a paisa bar about 2 miles one way. There was like a rich yuppie bar called the Marina that was like a half mile away, and then there was another bar that was like a dive bar called Froggy's that was where everyone in between kind of hung out. And so at about, oh, and it's just going to start kicking off soon. Um, about 12:30, this guy comes in and he walks up. He buys a 12 pack of Bud Light, and he seems perfectly fine. I ID him. Blah blah. He goes to the bathroom after he purchases and leaves the thing up there. I don't know what the fuck he did in that bathroom. He was in there for about a good 10 minutes, but when he came out, he went in there like relatively sober. I didn't even think he had drunk because he didn't slur. He was walking straight, and he just he didn't seem drunk. He came out, he was fucking obliterated. I don't know if he went in there and like chugged like a bunch of shots or what the fuck, but he was barely standing up. And he came up to the counter. And if you've never sold alcohol before, there's a rule that you cannot sell alcohol to people who appear to be drunk. It's a safety thing. It's like you're not. It's just a thing that you're supposed to, by law, not do. I already sold him the alcohol, but he was drunk. He wasn't drunk when I sold it, but now he is. I don't know how he was. I don't know. And he starts walking out the door, and I asked him, "Hey, buddy, you're not gonna drive, right? Like, you have a ride home." He's like, "Oh yeah, I have a ride. Don't worry." As he's fumbling his fucking keys, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, "This motherfucker." I I take the initiative. I go from behind the counter all the way out to chase him out the door. Basically, I stop him when he's about to get in his car. I said, "I need your fucking keys right now. I am not in any good consciousness letting you leave in this condition. You are too fucked up, and I do not want to see you fucking get hit or hit anyone in this condition." Because, and he starts trying to argue with me. He's like, "No, no, no." I literally take the keys from him. I was like, "You're gonna come back in. You're gonna call someone to pick your ass up, and you can come back for your car tomorrow. I'm not gonna have it towed. It will stay here. It will be safe. Just please, like, do the right thing. Listen to me. Get someone else to pick you up." Um, he's mad, and he starts like he goes back to where like the Del Taco part of the gas station is in the back, and actually starts opening and drinking his beer and like trying to get a hold of someone. And it's like, you know, I should be a stickler and not like tell him to he can't do that, but it's like whatever, man. I already took his keys away, and I'm not going to give him back until the person picks him up. Um, yeah, so he's sitting there and he's just like every now and again just like mumbling to himself or like kind of cussing at my direction or just out to the world because like you can't tell me what to do, like, but he is fucking obliterated. And more people are coming in and out, like doing their nightly thing, getting cigarettes, getting scratchers, getting their late night early morning coffee, getting alcohol. It is Friday night after all. About 45 minutes later, his sister comes in a bathrobe and slippers and like obviously had just woken up and is upset, but more upset at the situation. And she's like very gracious, like, "Thank you for like stopping him from doing anything stupid." And I make sure like she gets the keys and like he gets home, and I feel kind of good about that. Like, hey, okay, like I probably will get kind of reprimanded for like getting in the customer's face like that, but who the fuck cares? Like I felt like morally that was a good thing. It is now 12:30, and the Paisa bar is shutting down. So a lot of like the Spanish speakers and like they're paisas. Like, if you don't know what a paisa is, they're like Mexican cowboy, but like ranchers, but like they're like I don't even know how to really describe them. They're really rowdy. Well, the ones that were from this particular bar were, and even though they can speak English somewhat, they like to speak Spanish at the white people because they know that we might not understand it. I knew a little bit, and I knew kind of the gist of what they were saying, but I mean, just enough to fuck with them back. But it was like, you know, I mean, you take and you take it as much as you can give it. So, um, basically, just got them their stuff, and like some of them were getting kind of rowdy because they were waiting in line and didn't want to wait, and they were just like asking like a bunch of silly questions like, "Oh, is anyone back at the Del Taco? Can they make like burritos and shit?" It's like, nah, they're closed, and I'm the only one here. I can't. Yeah, I don't work at the Del Taco. I work at here the counter, whatever. But like, I mean, I'm struggling a little bit, but hey, I'm getting through this stuff. I'm trying to keep to the schedule of like getting the floor mopped in the store, the coffee remade, the bathrooms are kept clean. About 1 o'clock hits, and the marina is letting out, and oh my fucking god, the yuppies that went to that bar were the most obnoxious motherfuckers you can ever fucking deal with. They swarmed me. I swear to God, I had a line 25 people deep, and they were getting rowdy. They were out doing, some of them were busting donuts. Some of them realized that I was the new night shift guy. They realized that Cody wasn't there and Robert wasn't there, and so they took the opportunity to be as disrespectful as possible by like shouting at me, trying to get me to open the other register so they can get out because they want to get their beer and go. And um, yeah, it was just one guy came in and was like demanding my attention while I was trying to get the line down, and because I wasn't, getting him his cigarettes because I was serving the people that were actually waiting, um, he like lit up a blunt right there and just fucking like disrespect. Like they were fucking mad disrespectful. This one dude that came in, kind of a pudgy guy, like slick back hair, drove like a yellow, some kind of yellow exotic car. Like I want maybe or maybe a Maserati or whatever, something like that. It was foreign. It was fancy. It was like souped up and loud. And he came in, grabbed like two fucking cases of Pacifico, and he started walking out. I was like, "Hey, buddy, you got to get in line." He's like, "Shut the fuck up, or I'll come back and shoot your fucking ass." It's like, all right, asshole, what the fuck ever. Get the line down. Uh, there's a little bit of shoplifting going on. I can't really do jack shit about it because I'm literally the only person there, and yeah, it's wild. And yeah, so this takes about a good maybe 45 minutes, and now it's like approaching the last marks before 2 a.m. In California, you are not allowed to sell alcohol past 2 a.m. Like the registers literally forbid you from doing it at 2 a.m. on the dot. Um, so I'm trying to quickly get all the people who are buying beer out. At this point, I have the other register open. I'm jumping back and forth between them. Beer on one end, everything else on the other one, and like just hectic, chaotic. Then there's like people out there like in the parking lot, like again burning out, doing donuts and yelling, and like it's like a whole fucking like party going on out there because the by this point Froggy's, the other bar, let out, and like all those people are coming there, and some of them are starting beef because the bar scenes, like if you hang out at this bar and then the other people hang out at the other bar, it's like they're rivals for some fucking reason, or that's why they hang out at different bars. Like a lot of shouting, a lot of like chaos. um, I managed to get the last four people buying beer. I managed to sell it by 1:59, like right before the closing time. I got them out. It was successful. I shut down the registers, started doing end of day. I managed to get that done in under 25 minutes, which for being my first time alone, I'm pretty proud of myself. Even though I did kind of fuck up on resetting the day, it was not a big deal. I still got it under 25 minutes and counted out both registers by myself. That was, yeah. So by the time I get the store back open and like the register going, I get coffee brewing for the people who are coming in, who are upset at me because I took a little too long to get the registers open and they wanted to get their cigarettes and coffee because they're going to be late for work. Like that's my problem. So I get to the next person, and right as I'm ringing him up, I hear the loudest bang. Like it sounded like an explosion almost. Like it was pretty freaking sharp, pretty like jarring. And the way the station is set up is like the door coming in from the parking lot into pumps comes in, the counter meets at the door, and the registers are facing away, like they're basically, I have my back turned to the pumps and stuff, facing towards the back of the store. The bang, the noise basically came up from behind me. I turn around and see this red Corolla throttle just like mowing through the parking lot, barely missing the pumps, and it hits the car of the guy that came in drunk earlier, who I had him leave his car there. But if that car hadn't been there, the Corolla would have continued to basically barrel its way and probably go through the wall and go into the back of my legs. Like that's how I'm going to put pictures up and show you just how close this whole like thing went. Um, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I just like drop everything that I'm doing. I just the guy like he already has his EBT or his debit card pay and stuff, whatever. I go out there, try to see what the hell is up. I go up to the car that had been just thrown this direction, and the guy that is was driving. I'm like adrenaline running, like, dude, what the fuck happened? What the fuck are you doing? And like his head's wobbling around. The airbags were deployed. The I see blood trickling down his ears. Like I realized like, oh fuck, this is not good. It's like, oh, buddy, I'm calling. I take out my phone, start calling 911, and I'm just yelling at the dude like, but it's gonna be okay, dude. Like, but he was probably gone like on impact, to be honest. Like because of the way that the car was hit, like he was already gone. Like I had some other people that were some of the night people that were kind of just hanging out in the parking lot looking for cans and stuff. They came up and tried to like help me or like help the guy and tried to get him out. Also kind of in a panic because like like I'm just like go, and so they just tell me to go back in the store and they're going to try to help the guy. I tell him not to like open the door, not to move him, wait for the ambulance to get here. I go in and the guy who was waiting next in line is really impatient, like about fucking time. I need to get going. It's like, dude, do you not see what's going on? It's like, I don't fucking care right now. Just pay for or I'm just going to pay for this coffee and go. And he was just being shitty about it. So it's like, all right, buddy, whatever. I get down the next couple customers while I'm on the phone with the sheriff's dispatch, and yeah, they're already sending ambulances or paramedics on the way, and the guy who had the the hit the person, he was driving a blue truck, and he somehow like the front of his truck was just fucking demolished, but he was standing, he was still standing, and he was like out in the parking lot trying to like destroy evidence. I guess he was like fucking high on speed or drunk or something when he plowed into the guy. And the people who had come, like the night people who had like come up to me had actually stopped him from fleeing the scene because he tried to like leave, and they basically got him to sit down and like stay there and like um yeah. And then so I'm still like adrenaline mode, and it's like, okay, I called the cops. I need to call my manager, or I need to call the general manager, or like the I could not get through to my boss. I could not get through to Kim. Like, okay, so I had to wait 5 minutes and then try the next manager. Could not get through to him. So at this point, I'm now talking to people I've actually never met, because the general manager didn't pick up. So I'm talking to the area manager, which is like the district, whatever. And he wakes up all groggy, and he's like, hello, like confused, like why am I calling him? It's like, I'm at this station at blah 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 on this street and this street, and there was just an accident. I think the guy's dead, and I already called the cops. I can't get a hold of the or district manager. I can't get a hold of my general manager. I don't really know what to do because this is my first night. And he's like, okay, give me a minute. I'm going to call you right back. Just remain calm. Shut down the store. What the fuck does that mean? Like, I barely know how to do end of day. What do you mean shut down the store? So I'm waiting and waiting. He called me back. He's like, yeah, I can't get a hold of your manager, your district manager. It's like, nah, you couldn't either. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna try calling him back in a little bit, but like, have you tried calling him? Like, it's like, yeah, no, I have. Well, are are the police there? Yeah, yeah, they actually want to question. They need access to the security cameras in the office, which only the managers have the key to, and like, I don't really know what to tell them because I don't have the keys to the office. They want to see what's going on. He's like, okay, well, I'll get this figured out. 20 minutes later, my district manager calls me back, and he's like, Christopher, are you okay? It's like, yeah. What happened? Tell him the story. But you're not hurt. No one's hurt. No one got hurt. It was, well, a guy died. Well, besides him. Um, District manager's name was Mo. He's a cool, like, little Indian guy. Like, very, very sweet, but very stern at the same time. Again, too intimidating because big boss guy. But, yeah, he's like, okay, well, shut down the store. Don't let anyone come in. You're done for the night. Okay, don't, like, just stay there. Do the little chores. Don't let anyone come in. They don't sell anything. Don't buy anything. If they come in, the store is closed. Well, I mean, the police have already been taping off like the parking lot, and like they have the roads, like the crossroads, closed off because that. And it's like, all right, that's fine. I'll just count out the registers, shut everything down, start mopping and stuff, and like, so I'm there, and the cops are all out in the parking lot waiting, and the ambulance was there, and they pronounced the guy dead at the scene, but they can't do anything now because they need to wait for the coroner, and he's basically still in his car, 5 feet behind the registers, like just literally his vacant gaze is staring into the back of my head that I can feel. It's like, okay. Uh, at this point, a woman comes in, and I'm like, "Sorry, ma'am, the store is closed." She's like, "What do you mean it's closed?" It's like, "Well, there was just a pretty bad accident. The cops are all." She's like, "Oh, is that what that was all about?" And I'm like, I look outside. It's like, where did you even come from? She had like her SUV there. She's like, "Oh, well, I just want to buy cigarettes and the Monsters." Like, I had already shut down the registers, and it's like I was just not in the mood to fight any more people that night. I just gave her a pack. I made sure to save it down, and she gave me the money or whatever. It's like, and she's like, "Well, so what happened? Like, what's going on?" It's like, "Well, there was an accident, and there's a dead guy right there." And she looks over. It's like, "Oh, in that car?" Just all nonchalantly. She's like, "Oh, well, that sucks. Have a good night, I guess." It's like, thanks, lady. She gets in her SUV, backs out, and then rolls down to the driveway of the thing, lifts up to the caution tape that's blocking the actual driveway, rolls underneath it, and then turns, and like a cop stops her and says, "Hey, this road's closed. You can't go this way." She's like, as I'm just like standing there, like, "What the fuck, lady?" Cop comes up to me and it's like, "How did she even get in there?" It's like, I don't fucking know. Um, by this time, a couple hours have been going by. It's now like 4:35. Coroner still hadn't shown up, but my direct manager finally got a hold of me, and she's like half awake, panicking. "Oh my god, Chris, what happened? Are you okay? What's going on?" Blah blah. Tell her everything that had happened, how I handled everything, and like, she's like, "You closed the store by yourself?" Like, yeah. It's like, blah, blah, blah. Um, come 6 o'clock, like it's about the time I'm supposed to like clock out, and my relief hasn't shown up yet because they can't get through. The whole area is blocked out. Um, my relief actually calls in and says, "Hey, I can't get into work. I don't. What's going on?" And I explained to her, "Hey, yeah, we have a dead body. You know, he's been just chilling out in the parking lot. He's explaining what happened." And she's like, "Oh my god, ah!" Like she starts panicking. Like, "It's fine. Just tell them you work here. Come in, and they'll let you in." Um, I wasn't allowed to leave until almost 11:30. I was exhausted. my manager actually came on in on her day off to like whatever, and it's like I mean I had the store pretty much cleaned out. I didn't have any customers to worry about, and like no, I didn't have to make coffee or anything. I just was just sitting at the back table, like yeah, this has been a weird fucking night. Yeah, so the coroner finally showed up about 11:30 a.m. I had been there since 10:30 the night before. Um, I was exhausted. I was running on maybe 4 hours of sleep from the night previous, and I get home. I finally get home, and like I just think like, God damn, talk about fucking crash course in graveyard. Um, I was really lucky that the next night Kim just said, "Hey, go ahead and take tonight off. I know you were supposed to come in and work tonight to be your first official night, but you've done enough. You can come in the next night and whatever, but I'll get someone else to cover your shift." So that was really cool. I do appreciate the hell out of that. Like Kim, for being a manager type, she was a fucking hell of a manager. I'll tell you that. Like she showed a lot of like kindness and shit. Yeah, so that was my first graveyard shift. That was yup. I have other weird stories too, but I didn't realize it was going to be 26 minutes. Anyway, yeah.